Welcome to the show Rubaru. This is your host Sushil Bharti. Today we have with us the most admired global Indian, Mr. Melvin Pastor. Let me brief about Mr. Melvin. Welcome to the show, Mr. Melvin.
Thank you very much for that, Sushil. I do appreciate your time and efforts to get me into this.
Great. So Mr. Melvin is the director of at Construction, President Australia Chapter Asian African Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Welcome to the show once again.
My pleasure, and thank you ever so much once again for having me on.
Great, Mr. Melvin. Good to see you in person. Thank you very much connecting with the MSTV. Mr. Melvin, my first question is, you are closely working with businesses and individuals to expand their businesses.
Right.
What are the core areas of yours when you help the people in their journey?
Sushil, I've been in the construction industry and investment opportunities now for 18 years in Australia. I mean, well associated and acquainted with a lot of the opportunities that we can look at, because prior to Australia, I was working for the Dutch government in Netherlands.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of contacts with a lot of government officials and high-end entrepreneurs globally. And entering into Australia, I got into the development side, where I thought that would be an opportunity where I could assist overseas investors, overseas entrepreneurs seeking to invest and look at what are the best opportunities for them to invest in. And that's how I got into the development and construction side, where I'm able to analyze through my expertise and offer the client the best possible investment opportunity with the best returns at the minimal risk possible, or no risk at all, because that's what an investor looks for in the near future and wants to see that their money is safe and their investments are kept safe. So I've been in this now for 18 years, and I've learned the market to understand where we can assist overseas investors in investing in developments and projects.
See, when we talk about investment, so are you talking about the investment in India or investment in Australia?
No, we talk about investments in Australia because many overseas are still looking at Australia as one of the biggest investment hubs. It's still a baby country. I mean, people are not educated on what Australia has to offer them. Because I know, for example, I know a lot of the Indian high-end investors and business owners. There are two types of investors. One is who just goes across overseas, does their business and returns back to their country, which is India. Grassroots. And the other investor who wants to look at, okay, what can I do with my investments, or where should I invest my money where I can see that better returns are. And Australia, as a matter of fact, has not been educated to investors overseas very well. I mean, a lot of them go to Canada, a lot of them go to America, but they have not been educated as to what Australia has to offer them. And that's where I have taken that due advantage of trying to present myself to overseas investors as to what Australia has to offer for them in terms of benefits, in terms of economy, safety for their kids, everything.
Great. Very nice. Mr. Melvin, as far as the real estate is concerned, so due to pandemic, there are major downfall, in the sector. And so I just wanted to know what are the new ways and what are the new strategies you suggest to people to make risk-free investment? Because as you said that the people look for a risk-free investment.
Yes. I'd like to be very upfront with you because I don't work in the real estate industry itself. I work more into the construction and developments and projects. But as a matter of fact, real estate is still in Australia is one of the most booming markets today. I mean, it's not like India or any other country where the returns are at least 12 to 13%. The returns over here are about 5 to 6%, but it's very standardized growth, and the growth is very safe because it's on an very inclined way where you know that you are still going to get the benefits and reap the benefits, like in the real estate where you know that there's never going to be a downfall. It's always a cycle of 10 years.
Right.
But of course, the growth is very, very phenomenal over here. And anyone who we talk to, we make it very realistic to them that the real estate industry in Australia is one of the most booming markets compared to any other country because the growth phenomenon is still very high. The rental ratios is almost negligible,
Okay.
and the benefits are much better. And you also get a lot of the average returns are much, much higher than any other country today.
Great, great. Good to know about this. Mr. Melvin, like in India, because there was some years ago, like, there was a political instability, So because of that, many investors, they wanted to invest in India, but because of this political instability, they were not ready actually. So what are the scenario in Australia, like as far as the political stability is there or the system is there so that the people should go, like you said, the risk-free investment? Yes.
That's one thing, one very good question to ask, because I mean, Australia is very well regulated. We have this ASIC, which is the Australian Standards of Investment and Security, which is very, very regulated, and everything is documented. So there's no such thing that you cannot do. Even a single penny is documented for any investor. So even when an investor wants to invest in Australia, we need to first get the government to give the approval for them to allow them to invest in Australia. So there's a Foreign Investment Review Board. So they've got to apply with that. They're registered, they get the approval, then they get their registrations to buy the property. And everything is very well regulated, unlike any other country. It's all documented, legal documents are all there, and you cannot hide anything. Even with the real estate companies itself, everything has to be absolutely documented, and you have the lawyers who will look into them specifically. So it has nothing to do with the politics of here, because politics, as a matter of fact, has its own ways and habits. But the regulation of the ASIC is very, very high in Australia compared to any other country in the world. So any investor is guaranteed and secured their returns at whatever has been promised to them, because everything is documented and in writing.
Yeah. And we are also hoping that our Honorable Prime Minister also has given a stable government. So we are also looking for a good investment in our country.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. That's good. That's good. Mr. Melvin, when it comes to investment, you do extensive analysis, before asking your investor to do the investment. When you say ideal investment opportunities and strategies, what exactly do you mean by that?
See, what I exactly mean is, there are a lot of investments that you can do, but today the biggest investment is into property and developments. Yeah, because you have the opportunity to touch and feel, and you know that that's there, because there's a lot of opportunities in shares. Crypto is coming in, Bitcoin is there, but those are all way up in the air, so you don't know what's happening.
Yes.
But when you have developments which is grounded in earth, you actually can feasibly see it and touch it and feel it. You know that investment is there. And because I do the analysis well, I understand where the growth corridors are, because we look at those properties, we look at those development sites, understand how the growth is happening in that area, and I'm able to evaluate and give my investors the best growth opportunity, the best returns with ROIs that they expect, and make them assured that it is where I can, and I will also assure them in terms of how many years we can look at it before they need to sell the property to make that better growth happen also. So I strategize everything. I look at what are the best options. I look at what investments the investor is looking at, and I try to narrow it down to make sure that they get the best investment opportunity.
Great. Mr. Melvin, you are, from India. So what kind of response you are getting from Indians? Are they investing in some projects, or are they ready to do some big venture out there? What are the scenarios?
Good question. We have a lot. Indians are very, very skeptical in terms of investments. Yeah, they like to make sure they are doing the right, because America is one of the biggest countries for India today, even today. And as I said, mentioned, I mean, Australia is a booming country. It's a baby country, which everybody is not aware of. What are the possibilities and what are the growth avenues and what are the benefits Australia can offer? I have done a couple of seminars and presentations in Hyderabad, Bangalore, in Mumbai, and we did have a good response. But again, it takes time for any of the Indian investors to look at it. We've got quite a number of high-end investors who are looking at very, very big projects over here, and they've been very, very successful. So my strategy is now when I go out to India to present, I like to look at what the investor is looking for before I present to them everything, because it's always good to understand what the investor wants, understand what they are looking to invest in, and try and analyze it to say that what can we offer them in terms of the best returns, their investments are safe, and they know that they can comfortably invest in that. India is still not yet prone to Australia. There's a lot of avenues we have to still dig out in India, but there is a lot of opportunities where a lot of Indian high-end investors are now coming out into Australia and venturing into different projects. And with the free trade now happening with India and Australia, there's a lot happening because Australia had a lot of potential with China. Now, because of that situation, India is one of the next countries that Indians are looking at Australia as one of the biggest trading hubs.
Great, great. A pandemic has changed everything actually.
Yeah.
The mindset, the taste, and the investment strategies. I think everything changed. Even we can see in India also now the people are looking for big houses, like there are work from home culture and all. The world is changing.
Yes.
So as the investments are concerned, so what do you suggest for your investors then in Australia, that what kind of investment they should go for?
Sushil, there are two types of investors in India.
Yeah.
One investor is that I'm just looking for getting my kids across, because Australia is still known as one of the best countries for students to come do education, and they get the opportunities also while studying. They get the opportunity of working. So a lot of the families still look at providing their kids an opportunity to migrate to Australia, and they just want to buy an investment property just for their security so that they have a place to stay and they are able to travel peacefully. So that's one investor which we try and target for the families to migrate in the near future. And then we have the big investors who have a lot of money in India, don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
And that's then we come down to them and tell them, these are the opportunities we have.
Okay.
And that's where I narrow it down to find out exactly how much they want to invest and what are their returns they're looking at, because then only I can analyze and say, okay, which are the best options for them to invest in.
Great, great. Mr. Melvin, you have been appointed as President, Australia chapter for Asian African Chamber of Commerce and Industry. It's a huge, like the Africa, if you talk about the, Africa continent, it's,
Correct.
54 countries,
Yes.
even Asia, it's a big area.
That's right.
So it is a big responsibility on your shoulder also. So how you're managing?
Well, I try to be humble and try to do whatever's possible. I mean, it is an opportunity because I'm also associated now with a lot of the contacts in Dubai because of my connections and network. But what I try to analyze is there are a lot of business owners and a lot of entrepreneurs who like to look at opportunities, but are stuck with people who try to give them false evidences and false information. And that's where I try to collaborate myself with being one of the presidents and the president of the Asia chapter. It helps me assist business people who are looking at wanting to invest in South Africa or looking at opportunities where we can interact and collectively get them connected to the right resources in the different countries possible, rather than them running around. So I try to act as a mediator in between to make sure that the contact has the right approach and the right connection to be able to do their businesses. And that's where I get that peace of mind and happiness to know that I've been able to connect them to the right resources, rather than them running around everywhere and everybody informing them that they can do this and they can do that. And it doesn't eventuate in the end.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Great. So is there any opportunity that the one can visit Australia as a delegation so that they can be briefed, they can be, interact with the officials, higher officials. So is there any opportunity so that people can visit Australia?
Of course, I've been trying to work with a couple of them. I've also spoken to Dr. Marwa and said, why don't we bring a trade delegation from India,
Yes.
where I can organize meetings of here with a lot of business associates, a lot of entrepreneurs, and also ministers, where we can discuss bilateral trades and see how we can work together in terms of both the countries mingling together and looking at opportunities. Hopefully, once this pandemic gets over, I'll be in a position to be able to do things much better. Because I've been doing this a lot with a lot of Chinese. I've been bringing a lot of Chinese business owners over here, 40, 50 of them, to invest in Australia. I did try it last year with India, but unfortunately the pandemic happened. I was in Andhra Pradesh. I spoke to the ministers over there, inviting them across, and they were very keen to come across. But unfortunately, with pandemic, everything went haywire.
Yeah.
So there are huge opportunities, and with Australia now opening out to India, and our Honorable Modi ji is also giving that lot of opportunities for Australian business owners to have that bilateral trade. I think we have that opportunity and potential. Because I've been also speaking to Dr. Marwa to say, why don't we open up a film academy over here in association with his Noida Film Academy. So
That's
hopefully, if things turn out well, we should be in that position, because we've got a lot of young entrepreneurs over here who want to go into acting, film scripting, TV, and all that, but they don't get that opportunity. And with Dr. Marwa, if we can have that online, we can also encourage them to get at least a week's in Noida Film Academy, and then get to take part in some short film or a TV serial or something, and boost them up.
Great. Let's finger cross, let's it happen.
Hopefully, yeah.
Great. Mr. Melvin, you have received a prestigious award in 2021, the most admired global Indians. So now you're a VIP person, VVIP person. I would say.
Not exactly. I mean, I'm still humble. I am honored to have these awards coming across to me and being recognized with a lot of the Indian communities. And it does give me a fulfillment to know that at least I am recognized for the fields I do. And it's humbling to know that at least there is that opportunity to be able to give back to my society and my people in India and try and help them wherever possible.
Great. So it was a really nice interaction with Mr. Melvin. So thank you very much. Talking to
Likewise, thank you very much, Sushil, for this opportunity.
Yes.
And I look forward to being meeting you all very soon.
Great. And you have briefed our audience enough about property investment and different strategies. I think they'll definitely take your guidance, and they'll be getting benefit from your word of wisdom. Thank you very much talking to the
I look forward to being able to help more and more. And thank you once again for giving me the opportunity to be able. Thank you once again.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
It was a nice meeting. Thank you.
Pleasure.